Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Glad you're here. We are fixing to spend a day in the shop with Jimmy, making it work. That's what we're going to be doing today. Got a lot done yesterday, a lot of little things I didn't even record much of. I apologize if some people want to see every single thing I do, but I'm finding that when I get a little frustrated and things aren't really going the way I expect them to, it just makes a terrible video. So I'm going to skip over some of that stuff, try to make it productive, try to see if we can learn things and have fun, make the best of the day. Not make it aggravating. Nobody wants that. Gosemi's awesome. The Chevelle I tightened the belts and stuff on is still here. The Explorer Sport Track I fixed oil leaks on a year ago is still here. The Prius I did the ABS and the inverter is still here, and the cabin filter. The Hyundai or Genesis or whatever that I worked on a long time ago, and then Joe worked on it, did something. That's still here. There's a lot of vehicles that are still here. I don't know why. The dually, Joe fixed power steering leaks and stuff on the dually, still here. The Infinity, I thought they took it. The Infinity, someone was asking about the engine noise. I thought they towed it out here, but it's still here. I got the engine out of the Corvette yesterday. What else is going on? That's about it. Put a compressor in the Corolla, and it seems to definitely work better. I can pick up the engine speed now, and it'll pull the low side down to 33, 34 PSI, which the other compressor wouldn't go below about 48. So it's about 10 degrees further it's pulling it down. The Denso compressor seems better. We're gonna make sure after it heat soaks today, if that one's done, that'll be the last you hear of it. Oh look, anybody want a ratchet? Got a discount on them this morning. So let's get in there, finish getting the shop open up, and see what we can accomplish today. Stay tuned. 2016 Jeep Wrangler with a 3.6. Customers complain about an oil leak. Give you one guess what it is. Well, that was super sketchy. Didn't have the camera on. He's got the door check off, so the door swings around. It can hit the fender. Luckily, I caught it just in time. Turkey. He came in yesterday. I was out in the parking lot working on that Mercury. My car's leaking oil. I need to look at right away. I live 2 hours away. I said, hopefully a rubber ducky will help you out. These things are just absolute garbage. They used to be great trucks, but Fiat got involved, messed everything up. I'm sorry if you own one, but check engine lights on. He didn't mention it. 72,000 miles. It's done for. All right, I need to be cheerier. Stop being mean. Someone said that I was mean because I pointed out on a car someone put an engine in. They couldn't figure out how to bad battery terminal. That's why it wouldn't crank. So I thought it was kind of funny, but they said I was being mean, and I don't want anyone to be sad. If you have a bad battery terminal, put your test light across the positive and the negative cables, not on the battery post, but on the cables as far away from the battery post as you can get on the cable, and turn the key to crank, and your test light will go out if you have a bad connection. It's not really hard, but it's something that people that claim to be mechanics don't know how to do. I don't know why. Basic Electrical 101. Your first day in electrical class, you'll probably learn that. And you can even watch videos like Scanner Danner. I have videos on it on my channel, although I don't do a lot of classes and stuff. I need to make more, maybe. This thing is, he says it's puking out oil. I keep adding it. I got 2 hours to go. I won't make it. Oh, oil light's on. Uh-oh. Let's not do that. Let's take a look at the oil filter housing, because I'm going to guess that's probably what it is. It's a fairly clean car. I'm going to give it a 5. 2016. Was probably, I'm going to guess this thing's had a leak for about a year, and now it got worse. Maybe you just had the oil changed, and people like to really tighten those caps. and then when you loosen it again, you're straining that plastic tube. It doesn't handle that manhandling, if you want to call it, and they start leaking. It's a crappy design, but if the filter is put on and off correctly, they're way less likely to leak, which correctly is the operative word these days. I don't even do stuff correctly all the time, so how should I expect that everyone else to, right? These are cool looking trucks, man. I just wish they had the better engines. They'd be great if they had good engines and they weren't 80 grand. Alrighty. Oh. It's leaking, but not that bad. Usually there's about a half a gallon of oil in the valley there, but could be leaking out the back more so than the front. We'll have to take a look. Maybe he hit something with his oil pan. See if there's any oil in it. I'm guessing nope. Maybe it's not even an oil leak. Maybe it's just the oil light and the sender's got a problem. Oh, nope, nothing on the dipstick. Okay. Let's lift it up. See what we can see from underneath. See what these do is it looks like a rear main, but I can guarantee you the transmission doesn't leak oil out of the top. So what happens is it runs down the back of the engine, down the transmission, down your gas tank and rear end and rear brakes and heat shield and cross bumpers and stuff. It's not really funny. I apologize. Some people, if they're new here, might assume I don't have any empathy, but that's just not the case. You just see this every day over and over, and especially, you know, but everyone's surprised when something goes wrong with them. Although it's all over the internet, all over the world, forums, Facebook, everywhere. Everyone knows that they have huge problems, and that's just one of them. So the camshafts, head gaskets, oil coolers. I mean, anyway, there's some videos on TikTok the guy makes that he's works on a lot of them. Curses a lot though, but it's really funny if you don't mind the swearing. Let's give an estimate for this and see what he wants to do. We'll probably put a Dorman one on there, which is actually a good part. It's all aluminum and less fragile. It has an orange cap on it, I think, to use a certain kind of filter from maybe one of the newer ones or something, or the other way around. I think it uses the newer filter. So this is a 16, so it might use a filter for an 18 at newer, I think. But we'll see. We'll make a video on it if we do it. All right, I'm getting my goodies out, getting ready to work on this Corvette some more, but I got an oil change I'm gonna do real quick on a RAV4. And then maybe we'll come back to this. We'll see. 2006 with 190,000 miles. Needs a little bit of love. We're just gonna do a quick oil change, look it over a little bit. If we get any work out of it, I'll show you. Dinosaur blood's in. Let's see what's next. That's so funny. No lie, I waited about 10-15 minutes to see if there was something else to do before rolling everything out to start on a Corvette. As soon as I got my fan and my cart outside, he said, go ahead on the Jeep. It's got to be done today. It shouldn't be a problem, but we'll see. Man, too cold in the shop for you? Too cold in the shop for you? Yeah. It's a little nicer with the tires off. It's a lot easier to reach. Minivans are easier than these, but a little bit of a stretch for old T-Rex to get back there. Luckily, since Jeeps break down a lot, we got plans. Put a fender cover on there. Put the hood all the way back. Now there's so much room, it's ridiculous. I might not even need any tools. Well, other than 8mm and a 10mm. Some pliers. I think we're doing spark plugs too. So, all right, let's get some tools and get started. We'll evacuate some coolant out of there, minimize the mess. Plus you don't want to get coolant in the oil and oil in the coolant while you're taking all that apart too. So while that's working, we can get this thing off. Someone's lost the bolt and replaced it with something else already. That's alright. That'll work. Can't put my socket in there with this throttle body motor in the way. Oh, it's not tight. I didn't take that off. Not a setup. There's a few of those. Throttle body connector's got a safety on it. Makes it a little bit more entertaining to get off. A little red safety. There you go. You thought that was going to let it come off, huh? You know better. There it is. There's a few vacuum hoses you got to get off. There's a brace down here, or brace back here. Pull a couple of these hoses out of the clips. That's the hard one. I got to be careful with, there's a lot of music in the background. I'm guessing YouTube flags Spanish music just the same as regular other English speaking music. I'm not sure. Don't pry hard. You just roll it out of the bracket. Otherwise you got to mess with exhaust bolts and stuff. That's no fun. Nobody wants to do that. One more wire retainer. Someone's done this before because half the wire retainers are broken already. I don't really like doing that with the cylinders open right now, but as long as the piece doesn't break off, and it didn't, it'll be alright. That's not factory. Someone's definitely been in here. Ejector connectors, coil connectors. Get some of these harness things out of the way. Just if I can avoid it. You guys know I don't like disturbing these things, but I don't have a choice. It kind of comes right over everything. I can get to the bolts, so we'll try it with it connected and see. Get a bungee cord, hold some of the stuff out of the way. Not even tight. That one was alright. A lot easier when they're not tight. Man, someone put grease everywhere. What is going on with that? Yeah. That thing is leaking like a sieve, and it's been done before. So it's on his third one in 70,000 miles.
That was good, Jimmy.
Piece of cake?
That was good. Gotta get it to move.
Yeah! 2 electrical connectors, 1 heater hose, and torque sockets for the rest. I think it's 5 of them. It's out. I just got to figure out which socket that is. Sockets always confuse me. I mean, all the torques confuse me, but the torque sockets even worse. 88 Ford Mustang out there. I'm trying not to let the guy see me record. He's making a huge deal. Nobody's going to drive it. Nobody's going to touch it. Nobody better scratch it or else. So he drove it up behind the shop, and they're making Jace change his tires without even pulling it in the shop using a jack. Now he's complaining about where to put in the jack. If it was me, I'd crumble up his paperwork and I say, have a nice day, sir. Obviously, there's problems that you need to deal with someplace else. That's just me. He'll be on the internet talking about how crappy mechanics are any minute. I just don't get people, man. If you're that worried about it, do it yourself. I see plenty of people online saying, mechanics are thieves, I fix my own car. Except if it's something I can't figure out. Then you have to go to a thief. E8 is what size these are, by the way. In between all the pondering about life. See that? There was no resistance to loosen it. Maybe this guy should have done it himself too. Before I even pull it off of there. Get some of the ooey gooeys out. When you pull it off, more coolant will come out, but there'll be room for the coolant to go instead of down in the motor. If I pull all this out ahead of time. There's like 6 different chambers under here. Now, it's done. We'll pull it out of there. We're going to throw in some Champion spark plugs in this thing. I don't know if it's got new plugs or not. I said, do they want to do plugs while we're in here? We got spark plugs. They do look original. Cool. New plugs going. After I clean up this little bit of a mess I saw. Squirrel! Gasket plugs 3/4 to a full turn, and they're seated. Told ya. He's complaining that we scratched the pinch weld underneath the car. because they jacked it up outside, not wanting to scratch it on the lift or let him drive it in the shop. So now he says we scratched the underneath of his car. We had the conversation before we even worked on it. And we all saw it coming. And we did it anyway, because we make 70 bucks. I don't understand it. There are some people you're never going to make happy. And they happen to also be the same people who spend the most time online complaining and talk about how crappy their mechanics are. If you can't walk on water and work for free, you're a piece of crap. It's just not realistic. Do it yourself. Take the tires and wheels off the car, bring them down to a tire shop, let them mount them for you, and then bring them home and put them back on. He's yelling at him over there. Jace told me, you better get out of my face. And then the manager went over. All 6 plugs are done. It doesn't look like the coil fits out of there, but it does. Barely. That GM I showed you last week, the hoses, the AC and heater hoses are about 8 inches above everything. Not this one. Got some new gaskets from the dealer. I don't know if that's a good thing. I actually like the Dorman one, I think, better. But the customer wanted the dealer one, I'm told. And so that's the one that failed. Now, what you got to be aware of on these, depending on the production year, there's 2 different O-rings. There's a large one and a small one. And you got to use the right O-ring for the right application. 22 and newer, drop-in replacement. 2014 through 2021, you will need to remove the black O-ring and replace with the red O-ring supplied in the package, which is what we have to do. This is a 2016. I am going to verify the year and make sure they have the application right. And if it is a 2016, like I think, this one goes on it. 9 of 15. This is what the geniuses over there at the Chrysler Fiat Corporation came up with. One of them is a hair different. The red one's slightly thicker and slightly smaller in diameter. You're talking about a few thousandths of an inch. Someone thought that'd be a good idea. Engine oil on that O-ring. The rest of these, I believe, is one oil. I think these 2 are oil, and the rest of them are coolant, I believe. Make sure they're all seated. I do have to switch over the sensors. This one wasn't too bad to get out with them in place. Sometimes you can put the sensors in afterwards to give you a little more room, but this comes in and out pretty easy. I think it's a 19 and a 15/16 or something. Oh man. Not even tight. That's temperature. If it had a hole in the end, it would be the oil pressure, because it wants to see the oil pressure on the diaphragm inside. That's what this one is. Oh, it's bigger than 1 inch. Uh-oh. That was tight. That's good. A little bit of thread sealer. Push that front, it's got to go down in that little tube. You got to hold yourself up and squeeze use this and hold the hose at the same time. So it's definitely requires some skill. Sometimes it's easier to hook that hose up before you drop it down. Not a lot of room in there. Just gotta go down. Click. Got a safety on it. Clamps all the way on. Now I gotta torque it down. Last guy didn't torque basically anything. I think 2 or 3 bolts out of everything was tight. Probably why I was leaking, but it's not worth trying to tighten it all down and then put it all together and see if it leaks. You're going to replace it while you're in there. Such a common failure item. Uh-oh. The one I looked at that needs a transmission. It's going on the flatbed. Hopefully I got my hour. We'll see. Already tighter than it was, but I gotta look up the torque spec. 106 for the oil cooler housing, 106 for the lower intake, and 89 for the upper intake or plenum. I thought I was pretty close. Experience you have, no matter how close you think you were, a torque wrench, even if it's not calibrated perfectly, I mean, people make a big deal about that too. Put a torque wrench on there. It's going to be way closer than if you don't torque it at all. Got my new gaskets in. Everything's cleaned up pretty good. Feel like dropping my socket in the intake. Make sure every injector's on all the way. They would ever trick you. Plenum is next. I gotta put this on. And the plenum is next. Got my very, very odd, very difficult to work with bracket back in, but it's loose. I got it pushed back. There's studs in the back. These studs are for the heater hoses, and then this little electrical connector pushes into it. But you need it back to get the plenum under it because it bolts to the plenum too. Not sure why, but it does. I got all my screws backed up. I'm going to have to pull this to the side to get to that one. But I've got them backed up so I can move the intake without the screws digging into the gaskets or any of that. Hopefully it works. We'll see. You might remember too, when I took it apart, I had to mess with that just a skosh. So let me get my mess with that tool. Not bad. Not like a big deal. Just a little bump of love. This is the second time. Just to make sure. These manifolds, man, they will strip right out. You get all crazy, man. I dropped my short 8mm on a transmission somewhere. I can't find it. So I'll figure after I start it up, I'll see if it'll fall. I know it's not in the engine. I saw it go behind down the transmission, so don't worry about that. We got a few more hoses and stuff to button up. Got some coolant and oil in this thing. I already drained the oil. There wasn't much in there. About 1.5 quarts of oil in the pan. That's why the light was coming on. I got to put nuts on the, there's 2 studs on the valve cover. One of them had a nut on it, one didn't. I'm going to probably put both of them back on. I'm feeling generous. I do have the bleeder open down here. I did lift it up to get the engine at its normal 3-degree angle, because the air will come to the front where the bleeder is, and the radiator will be higher. I've had vehicles where I had to bleed the clutch that way, the cooling system, sometimes even the brakes, tilt the front of the vehicle up. The air wants to go up, as long as you give it a path. Now I gotta be careful, I want to back out of the valve cover. I'm going to lift it up and brake clean the transmission and some of that other stuff so we don't see too many drips going down the road. At least from out of town, so. Thirsty? Nice. About 3/4 of an ounce. Oh, it's coming down now. Free car wash. Look at what these turkeys do with the clamp. They got this entire circle with the clamp. And I tried to move it. It's got a notch on the bottom and a tab right here. It has to face this tab that holds the wire harness. Good job, Jeep. That's why the last guy didn't tighten it. He's like, I don't care, it's close enough. Oh my goodness, it's so silly. Now this has to get pushed back on there. You can't just leave it off like it was before, right? Yeah. Got to put these 2 bolts in. I got all my clips. I'm gonna fire this thing up in a minute. I don't want to clean all of it off. It's pretty good rust prevention. It's like really cheap fluid film. Hey, the oil light's out. That's progress. I'm gonna put my scanner on it, clear that check engine light out for them too. Of course, we got to warm it up, make sure the air pocket's out of it. Even though that has a bleeder, I still find these will overheat once. They'll like start to get hot, and then you shut it off. It'll burp itself, top it up, and it's done. That's most of the time on these, not every time. We'll see. The bleeder is simply a suggestion that it won't have air. Nice and quiet. Surprisingly, it was driven with the oil light on a bunch. Spotted my socket. Ta-da! This thing's ready for a road test. I just got to button up the hood, clean up some of this mess, and take it for a drive. Alright, the Mercury from the other day had PATS codes, which are maybe from some other key he was trying. The key he brought us works. It just had a gas. So he's saying it has a lack of power intermittently, and right now it's running good, but that's not good. It's supposed to be 30 or more. Sometimes what I'll do is load the pump harder by unplugging the regulator. It makes the fuel pump work. Hey man, hey. It makes the fuel pump work just a little harder, and if there is something going on with the pump, it'll show up and the pressure will start to drop off. But he says he replaced the pump already. That doesn't mean it's good. It means it's new. But I don't like how low it gets as it is. I think the low side, the lowest this should ever be is 28. The spec's 28 to 45, and it's 26 there. Could my gauge be off 2 pounds? Yeah. But it's getting late. The traffic's terrible, so I'm not going to drive it tonight. It's too late to go take it for a drive now, but we got gas in it for tomorrow. And we're about ready to close up. So I think we'll come back to this one tomorrow. It's late. I'm tired. Got the Jeep fixed today. That's good. Something productive. Got him on the road. He's from out of town, like I mentioned, so happy to get that done. I wish we could have a better day, though. Looks like it's not going to shape up to be a very good week, but it is what it is. We'll take what we can get, and we'll make it work. That's what we do. Yeah, we'll mess with this some more tomorrow. He's so noisy. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed your company today. I hope you'll talk the like button before you head out. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't yet. What are you doing? Come on, it's free. This week only, though. You got to subscribe soon because that's going to expire the end of the week. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, check out the Amazon store. I just added a bunch of new things last night in the Amazon store, so it'll be some cool stuff to check out. Hope I see another video more than anything, though, because you're awesome.